What's a possession you will never get rid of, even if it becomes old or outdated? A few years ago, I was in a really bad place. I was broke, depressed, and had just lost my job. I was also a single dad, and my son was only 6 at the time. I was struggling to put food on the table, and I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. I was at my breaking point. I remember one day I was sitting on the couch crying when my son came up to me. He asked me what was wrong, and I told him that I was just tired. He then went to his room, and a few minutes later, he came back with his piggy bank. He handed it to me and said, "Here, Daddy, you can have this." I was so touched by his gesture that I started crying even harder. I told him that I couldn't take his money, but he insisted. He said that he wanted to help me and that he loved me. I hugged him tightly, and I promised him that I would get us out of this situation. I ended up using the money to buy groceries, and it was the first time in weeks that we had a proper meal. That piggy bank is now empty, but I still have it. It reminds me of how much my son loves me and how he was willing to give up his own money to help me. It also reminds me of how far we've come since then. I'm now in a much better place, and I owe it all to my son.